Morning.
Morning.
Doing with Purpose podcast. We back at it again. Hey, we got a special guest today, Coach Lawson with the BNL Batesburg Leesville Panthers. Hey, we sitting here in his office, just talking about football and what's to come for this season or whatever. Even though the season has already started, hey, we wanted to get him on and just conflict help us from getting on from the beginning of the season, but we got him on now. And Coach Lawson, just introduce yourself.
Well, like I said, my name is Greg Lawson. I am the head coach at Batesburg Leesville. This is my 34th year of coaching. Been very fortunate to be with some great programs in my past and some great coaches. And like I said, but originally I'm from Union. I grew up in Union. I played in Union. My coaching career started in Union, like I said, with Shell Dula, then Mike Anthony, and then I went and coached with Phil Strickland, and then I became a head coach after that at Lawrence and Hemingway, and now at Batesburg.
Yeah, so you done been around. You done been around the block.
That's right.
Yeah, you've been around the block with, and pretty much you got to win a tradition, right?
Well, yeah.
You got some state championships up under your belt.
Yeah, I got a few.
Got
a few. Been very fortunate and blessed. Yeah. Like I said, been at the right place at the right time. Been with some good coaches who taught me a lot. And been very fortunate, to be at the places with those guys who built their programs and to teach me how to build a program.
Yeah, and that's your main goal, your main purpose of being at Batesburg Leesville, to get the winning tradition back. Get Batesburg Leesville back on top where they used to be years ago or whatever. We've been down for a couple years, but we ain't been. I guess you could say we may have been to the bottom, whatever. But the way things are going right now, you running it back to the top.
Well, we tried. And like I said, I knew that when I came here, it was going to take time. It wasn't going to happen overnight.
Always.
Can't build things overnight. It doesn't matter what business you're in. So we knew it was going to take time. Coming in the first 2 years, we had a lot of young players. Had some older players who, were told that you either get with the ship or get off. And like I said, some of them decided to stick with it, and some of them decided to get off. And so our numbers are back up. We got great numbers in our JV. When I got here, we didn't have a JV. And I started the JV back. I said I wanted a JV program. That's what feeds your varsity. Our middle school was doing well. Got a lot of kids in it. And by building that JV program, we were able, I wanted to play kids, not watch them sit the bench. And so, I told them we didn't have an 18. Let's have a JV. So, and that worked out. Now, JV program right now has got about 33 on it. The varsity's got over 40 something on it, around 45. So, and so we're building the program. It's a plan, and you got to stick to the plan. And the other thing you got to do is you got to be committed to the program, whether you're a player or a coach. And like I said, the main thing is you got to get them to buy in, in what you're going to do. And the other thing is you got to get them, they got to believe what you say. And whether it be discipline or whatever, you got to, they understand I mean what I say. And so we got, some good kids now who took their lumps and played as 9th and 10th graders the first 2 years, and now they're going to be, they're juniors and seniors now, and we got a good group of kids.
And buying in, it's not only with the players, it's the fans, the community, and everything, because we want the community to be back together. We want the fans to be back together. And looking from Friday night, the Batesburg Leesville Lower Richland game, it looked like the fans was back. This was our first home game. It looked like the fans were backpacked like it used to be back in the day. And it don't help that we got all this new stuff going around Batesburg Leesville, the facility, the weight room, and all that stuff.
Well, it is nice. Like I said, last 2 years we also been going through some growing pains with construction, and even our superintendent has said that. But I'll have to praise our administration. Dr. Axon has done a great job, and he is wants the best for our community. He wants the best for our kids. He wants them to have the best academic facility as well as athletic facilities, and they have been doing that, and you can start to see that now. With the redoing of they redid our field. It probably hadn't been really done since there. Press box. They built a brand new gym.
Yeah.
A super weight room.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I mean, you want to take pictures, I'll be glad to let you go through there. But giving us an opportunity to compete with people is where before, other schools around us, if you want to compete with them, then you got to compete with them everywhere. Not only just,
on the football
field. You got to compete with them in the facilities. And so right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There ain't many facilities better than what we got right now. I don't care what level. I mean, there are a lot of 4A and 5A schools envious of what we got right now.
Oh yeah. They definitely. I come up here and walk. We just did a live a little while ago, and I'll be walking, and that's how I pretty much met you the first time. Me and Cornelius is always walking up here at the high school, whatever, on the track or whatever, and we just been seeing it come from the ground up, just building it up. The weight room, the new gym. The football, the field, the scoreboard, and like you just said, I feel like if we don't have the best facility around this area, whatever, we got to be top 1 or 2, man.
Got to be.
We definitely in the top, whatever.
Yeah.
So with the new weight room, how did the summer workouts go? How did that
Well, that was, like I said, this was the first summer we actually got to use them starting in June when we started our weight program, and the off-season program went great. Yeah. Our kids work very hard. Gives us a chance with the size of it and what they were able to give us. I mean, it makes it a lot easier when you put 60 kids in there or 70 kids in there, and you got as many racks and as much equipment as we have. So, like I said, when our district and Dr. Axton decided to do all this, and the board, actually the board decides, they vote on it. They didn't say, "Oh, we'll take this and this is what we can do." They said, "We want the best, and we're going to take the best. And if this is the best, this is what it's costing. We're going to find a way to do it." Yeah. And they've given us the best. And like I said, you can't get much better than what we got. And I thought this summer our kids worked extremely hard. They're very excited. We had more kids.
That's what I was like.
We had more, attendance wise. They're with the summers being shorter, you don't really have much summer anymore. And it's hard on football, especially because there's no more two-a-day, there's no more morning practices because you start school in end of July. But in the summer, our kids were here every morning at 7 o'clock, except for Fridays, Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock in the morning. And we did a lot of passing leagues on Tuesday. And then we lifted on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and conditioned. And there was a total of 20 workouts, and I think all of our kids, but maybe I think it was varsity wise, all but 3, and they had some conflict with family vacation, whatever, got their 16. They had to get 16 out of 20. Okay. And then we had more kids get 20 out of 20 than we've ever had before. So
that's showing up on Friday nights.
That's showing up on Friday nights.
With getting all these workouts in and whatever. Because I know one afternoon when I missed the morning, I came up here that afternoon and y'all was having practice or whatever, and I just saw the kids, and you can see how kids have gotten bigger and stronger and faster and just all this stuff. And I know one morning I was up here and y'all were actually feeding the kids, getting them like nutrition for the week or whatever.
We try to do that. We try to do that every day. I got with our assistant superintendent who's over the food program and our lunch cafeteria, and we try to feed not just the football players but all our athletes in the afternoon, where they give us Uncrustables and they give us juice and stuff like that. So we try to feed them. At least the football team gets fed. On Mondays they usually get Uncrustables. Well, I'm sorry. On Tuesdays they usually get Uncrustables. Got weights. On Mondays, if they went on Friday, they're going to Sheely's on Monday night. So right now we've been eating at Sheely's a lot on Monday night. So we're going to get a night. And Tuesdays they get Uncrustables. Wednesday we got a good group of parents for the last 2 years, now the 3rd year, who come in and they feed us spaghetti every Wednesday night. Feed the JV and varsity spaghetti and the coaches. And then on Thursdays, a lot of times they get more Uncrustables. And then on Friday they get a pregame meal from one of the churches. So they eat all the time. So they eat pretty good.
So with that being said, how could a church or somebody could, just be able, because they winning. My motto is winning cures everything. So what you winning, the community would want to be a part of the winning tradition back. So how could we just say if we had a church that want to get involved with, feeding the kids or, feeding them spaghetti or buying them a pregame meal, providing a pregame meal. How could you do that?
The pregame meal, like I said, you can contact me or anything. You contact me.
Okay.
Just call the school and they'll call me down here.
Okay.
You can, like I said, email me.
Yeah.
My email is glawson@lex3.org.
Okay.
And like I said, you can email me if you're interested.
Okay.
And we have pregame meals right now that are pretty much taken care of by the churches and have been since, probably a long time. I know that they were doing it when Coach Strickland was here. So that's something very, we're very fortunate to have that churches to do that. And right now, I think as far as pregame meals, Pastor Kent Suits, who's over in church, he's there kind of like our team chaplain. He's been taking care of that for us since I've been here. Does a great job. And right now, I think we've got somebody to take care of feeding us up till the second game of the playoffs right now. So
so you got to get in line.
Yeah. Well, the thing I'm looking for now is since I started, one of the incentive to our kids was, if you went on Friday, we eat on Monday and go, take them to Sheely's or one of the other restaurants. I got some other restaurants that said they would feed us. But I try to have different investors, like businesses in town that pay for that. And every time, you start taking 60, almost 70 people to eat at Sheely's, it's about $600 to $800. So, like I said, so anybody that wants to help us, we'll be greatly appreciated. Like I said, and the more you win, the more they got to eat, so the more it costs.
They don't want to eat.
We are having one of the things we're trying to do to help that in the future, so I don't have to go out and ask these investors, hey, can you help pay me for the food? Is we are starting the first annual Batesburg Leesville Football Panthers golf tournament. Inaugural golf tournament on October 17th.
Okay, then.
And we're going to try to have it every year. So anybody that wants to get involved and be a whole sponsor of businesses, or you don't have to be a business. It could be you. Say, hey, I want to be a whole sponsor. It's $100 for a whole sponsor. We have a purple sponsor who's you get a sign you get a whole sign. And then I'll give you a signed helmet jersey for your business.
Okay.
And then we have another, and that's $250. And then there's another sponsor that's $500, which is a gold, and they get the same stuff. Plus, they get season passes and a parking pass.
Okay.
So that's something that we're trying to get started. So with that fundraiser and the golf tournament, so people pay to play the captain's choice. And then the money we raise, that's the money we're gonna try to use the next year to pay for their meals.
Okay, that's cool. So, with all that being said, it seems like you're building that championship tradition back to Batesburg Leesville. So, what makes that championship tradition? What builds it? What makes it, in your perspective?
Well, like I said, it's a combination of a lot of things. One of my things when I came here was, I coached with Mike Anthony, I coached with Phil Strickland, who have a history here.
Former head coaches here.
Yeah, and like I said, heard great things about it, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to come here. When the opportunity came, I took it. And so, the thing about it is, you got to be able to, one, the kids have got to buy into what you're doing. It doesn't happen overnight. So, you know you're going to have take some bumps and lumps to start with. And as long as you have an administration, there's another thing that's backing you, which I have had. And, they know what your plan is, and they stick with you. That's part of it. The other thing is, like I said, the kids buying in. And the other, the thing that we're trying to do is to bring that community back in. Because Batesburg was one of the best football atmospheres that I can ever remember. So there's not many like that anymore. There's, it's that Friday night lights, everybody on Friday, where are they? The town's dead. They had the football game. And so that's what I was used to. I mean, back when I when I was a union that way, and obviously Gaffney was like that. And so the opportunity to come to Batesburg and try to build that back was something that I couldn't turn down. And one of the things that I try to do is get out in the community and meet people in the community, in businesses, and even in restaurants. I try to talk to people, and they say, "Oh, we used to go to football." I said, "Well, come on back. We want you back. Our kids need your support." And what I think the community needs to know is the more people in those stands, the better them kids play. It's something that you can't buy it.
No,
I can't buy people to put in the stands. I can't produce it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when your community backs your program like that, it's something it's just it's kind of like the thing at Texas A&M, the 12th man.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't duplicate.
Yeah.
And so when the community gets involved and the fans come and support those kids, they play better.
Oh yeah. And
so
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's part of building the championship program is. You got to have discipline, all that. You got to have commitment. I mean, I'm not saying that, they got to buy in, but the community is part of it, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely part of it, man. Because I remember playing back in 84, 85, or whatever, and it's different when you got the stadium full, they yelling, this rocking or whatever. It just seemed like it just gives you energy. And seemed like on Friday night with the stands being full or whatever, the guys, they just fed off of that, and Lord Richard went down and scored, but the guys fed off of that, and KD ran one back, and the crowd just went crazy,
right.
And it just went from there.
Right.
So the crowd was just
and we didn't have our best game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought defensively we had a great game. I thought defense played really, really good. I thought offensively that we kind of stumbled a little bit.
Yeah.
We had some. Because of the way they really didn't have a set defense where they were going to line up or what they were going to do, and they just felt like they were coming. Yeah. So sometimes the lineman got a little confused, and we tried to correct that and did later on, and and then the other thing is sometimes you just you go over to Abbeville and and you have your best game. You don't make any mistakes. They don't make any mistakes. Yeah. Your quarterback's throwing dimes,
man.
And then he didn't have his best game this week. But you know what? That's what a team is. That's what a championship team is. When your defense stumbles, your offense picks them up.
Exactly.
When your offense stumbles a little bit, your defense picks them up. And then your special teams is a big part. I tell these kids, ever since I've been here, we work hard on special teams. We do special teams every day.
Oh, man.
And so I told them, I said, special teams is where you win football games.
Yeah,
and old Coach Dooley just coached me, told me, he said the kicking game, for here the breaks are made. And if you're better on the kicking team, on the special teams than the other team, you got an advantage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Each week we try our best to figure out how we can score on special teams.
Yeah.
And if we can get a score on special teams, that's a plus.
Key. Yeah, that's definitely a plus. Yeah, that's
definitely
a plus. Yeah.
Anytime you can score on special teams without having to score on offense and defense, that gives you an advantage.
Oh yeah, it definitely gives you an advantage. And I'm thinking, just watching the Abbeville game, and after that, before the game started, I thought we were, up in there. I didn't know which way we was gonna go or whatever, but I knew this Abbeville game could make or break us. And I was talking to Coach Harris, and me and him, that's my cousin, me and him talk all the time about football, and he was like, hey, well, we pretty much came up with the fact of the matter, hey, if we can just stay close to Abbeville, because it's been, man, I think they said 2008, 2009 since we beat Abbeville.
I think they beat them in 14.
14?
I think they beat them in 14, and then
that's what we went up there.
Right, I think they beat them in 14.
33-0 or whatever, and they came back and beat us in the
playoffs. Same year. They beat them in 14 in the regular season, then Abbeville beat them in the playoffs here.
Yeah, here.
And that kind of what set Abbeville on that run. They after that, they won in 15, 16, 17. Exactly. They went on a run.
Exactly.
So,
and we were
things are. Sometimes things happen. I'm hoping that our win up there at Abbeville puts us on.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking, me and Coach Harris was talking about, if we can just stay close, we'll be good with that. But to go up there and beat them, I think that just propelled us to another level. And just me and him talking that Saturday after the game, we were like, hey, well, look. And I used to tell my son all the time, hey, you can't get too high and you can't get too low.
Nope.
So we need to try to stay even keel because we can easily come home to Lower Richland and pretty much we think we all that in a bag of chips and Lower Richland can knock us back down.
But yeah, because they're very athletic.
Yeah.
They're not a bad team. They were 2-1.
Oh, yeah.
Only game they lost was by 1 point.
Yeah.
You know, so Lower Richland has always been, very athletic, big.
Oh yeah.
Got good athletes. So that was the thing. As soon as we got home from Abbeville, and I stood in that locker room, and I said, here's the thing that you got to understand. Mm-hmm. I'm happy for you. I'm ecstatic for you. I'm ecstatic for this community.
Yeah.
And I said, but what you got to know is this. When you have a big game like you just won, I said, what worries me the most is, I said, next week, we're not playing. I said, our schedule is, we have a pretty good team to play.
Yeah.
And I said, and I think we should beat them. Mm-hmm. I said, but it's the letdown. Yeah. It happens at all levels. In the pros, in college. Look at Notre Dame. They're number 5 and they get beat by Northern Illinois. Who is a good football team.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not supposed to beat Notre Dame.
Nah.
Not when Notre Dame pays $1.8 million to come play them. Yeah. Not only did they get the 1.8, but they got the win.
They got the win. Yeah.
So, I preach to our kids. Look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The letdown. Mm-hmm. Don't have the letdown. Mm-hmm. You gotta stay, like you said. Don't get too low. Don't get too high. Yeah. You gotta stay in the middle. Yeah. And and one thing that we've been saying every week is never be satisfied.
Oh yeah.
Never be satisfied. Okay. If you're satisfied with what you did, you're never going to be set. You're never going to get any better.
Get to the top.
Always try to be better.
Yeah. You got to get better every day.
That's right. Never be satisfied. Yeah. And always give it your best every day.
Oh yeah. So with that being said, what was one of the main goals, or what were your goals for the season coming up this year? After all the workouts, the great workouts you had this summer, bringing all the kids you brought back from last year, bringing up the young kids, the bumps and bruises you took over the years, the last 2 or 3 years. So what was your goals for this year?
Well, I mean, obviously, you set a goal every year. Mm-hmm. To come in and you want to have a winning season. Mm-hmm. I mean that's your first goal. Love to have a winning season. Yeah. Last year I felt like we made strides. We beat Saluda in overtime at Saluda. Mm-hmm. That was a big stepping stone. Mm-hmm. I felt like going and getting a home playoff game that hadn't had in a while. Have a home playoff game and hosting a home playoff game against Chesney. Felt like we should have beat Chesney. I felt like we gave that one away. Mm-hmm. That I was a little disappointed. I wanted to go to the playoffs, and I felt like we kind of missed an opportunity there to do that next step. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I try to tell them, I said, we don't want to be one and done. Don't want to be one and done. We want to keep going into playoffs. That's not what baseball's about. Mm-hmm. You need to go back to the times, like you said, when, and I've told this before, it needs to be, baseball's not playing Abbeville. Mm-hmm. People come to play baseball. Yeah, exactly. You're playing baseball. It's and totally I said it needs to be that way. Yeah. And I said, you got to have that mindset. Mm-hmm. You're not going to play this team. They're coming to play you. Yeah. And I said, especially when you're in your house. Exactly. When you play at home, that's your house, and they're coming to play you. Yeah. And I said, so you're never the underdog. Never. And so one of the things that I try to tell them all the time, I said, you got to have a positive mindset. You got to get up every morning. I said, especially on game day, you got to get up and say, it's game day. We're going to win. Oh, yeah. You got to believe. You got to be positive. You always got to think positive thoughts. Yeah. You got to, if you speak it, it'll happen. Yeah, speaking into existence. If you speak positive, positive things happen. Yeah. If you speak negative things happen. Yeah. I said, always speak positive. And always be striving to do your best. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, just by you saying that, just thinking about back in the day, it was not one day that Batesburg Leesville thought on Friday night that pretty much we was gonna lose, or we had a chance to lose. Especially if you come into the pit. If you come into the pit,
Right.
you coming down here to get a loss, man. It's ain't no ifs, ands, buts
That's
about
right.
it. You was coming down here to get a loss. It didn't matter who was playing. They probably could have bought Clemson, Carolina, Joe Montana, them. If they came down here to the pit, we pretty much felt like, hey, we was gonna win, man.
Right.
Just regardless.
And that's the attitude you have to have.
That's the attitude
I
you
tell
gotta
them,
have.
if we go away game, you get off the bus. I don't care if you're playing on their field, but if you're playing at home,
Oh, yeah.
I said every time you step on the field,
Oh, yeah.
you got to know that you're going to win the football game.
Yeah.
You got to have attitude to say that we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever it takes to win the football game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, adversity, is it going to happen? Yes, sir. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Not everything's always going to go your way,
Oh, yeah.
but how are you going to go overcome that adversity?
Yeah.
And the other word we use is persevere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
got to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with the season already started, we're 3-0. We got Calhoun County coming up this week and Mid Carolina the next week. So what are we looking forward to for the rest of the season? And after you answer that, we're just going to talk about some key players that's on the team or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think, Calhoun County, I mean, right there, they're not as good as they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not sugarcoating. I mean, it's, they had a very good team last year.
Yeah.
I think they had a running back played in the Shrine Bowl.
Okay.
And I thought they did very well. I think he lost a lot of players last year, and they're kind of in a rebuilding year.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're 0-4, and those teams scare you. They scare me. They scare me worse than than the Lower Richland. So you got to go in this week and hope we're gonna have good weather. I know the storm's coming in, and people got to understand is key. What hurts you so much at the beginning of the year is this wet bulb, and you got lightning meters, and you got the heat, and you can't go outside and practice. And I'm old school. We used to tease that when Coach Strickland was here. He knew when to practice, he'd go by the bank and see the temperature on the side. If it wasn't 100, we were practicing. So
can't do that now.
Now wet bulb tells you can't practice. And if it's this temperature and this much humidity, you can't. You can only go out in shorts and shoulder pads and 2-hour practice. If it's this much, you can only go out in helmet and shorts and have a 1-hour practice. And if it's this much, you can't go outside at all. And that's rough at the beginning of the season when you're trying to get ready to play your first couple of games. And so this week, like I said, we got Calhoun County. And, we got a little adversity coming in with the storm coming in, of course. But it's in season. It's not like spring practice or whatever. So. If we don't have no lightning, then we're gonna learn to practice in the rain. Because we got to get better. Don't want to put our kids in harm way. I mean, if we have a lot of rain and it's this slick or whatever, then that's different. But if we get light rain or whatever, then we still got to go practice. So we're gonna work on getting better, making ourselves better. And the other thing is that we try to do is this year we've told them it's one game at a time. We don't want to look. We're not looking in the future. We know who we got to play. The schedule said, you want to know who we play, look on the schedule. This week we play Calhoun County.
So it's all about Calhoun.
It's all about Calhoun. There's nobody else. Ever since all summer long we did passing league. And all summer long through the workouts, through preseason practice, every day when we broke down in the weight room, on the field, every day we broke down, it was beat Sally.
Okay.
Every day. All summer long.
So who is Sally?
Wagner Sally.
Okay. First game of the season. Okay.
Sally.
Okay.
All summer long. All preseason.
Okay.
Once we beat Wagner Sally, then the whole week, the next week, it was beat the Ville. And that was, the kids come on, I let them in. Not every, whatever they want to beat the Ville. Okay, let's beat the Ville. And so, this week, it's beat Calhoun County.
Beat CC.
Beat South. Beat CC. Whatever they, they already did it Friday night when we broke down. So, the game was over. Now it's CC.
So you just move on to the next one.
It's the next one. That's who we worry about. We're not worried about anybody else. Got to beat them first.
It's that mindset that you're teaching them. That's great. That's great.
We were, got to beat CC. And then, like I said, Then when Mid Carolina gets here, we'll have distraction with that. We're going to be on TV and all that. So we'll worry about them when they get here. But right now, it's all about.
That's great.
As you said, CC. It's all about
BCC.
CC.
It's BCC. So with that being said, so let's go to some of the players. I know. I coached Little League football, but all these guys, I had done stopped coaching by the time all these guys got up here or whatever. But just being in the community, being around here, being from here, hey, I know a lot of these guys that's playing now, whatever. Tyler Wooden, Tanner Watkins. No, not Tanner Watkins. Tanner Watkins. Yeah,
Tanner's like I said, he's a 3-year starter at quarterback, and he's become a leader. Like this is what we wanted him to do. His self-confidence when he was a sophomore and a little bit last year, you could see him starting to rise to the occasion.
Coming to his
towards
own.
the end, coming to his own, especially in that Saluda game at the end of the year. And so he's learned that he's got to be a leader. That he's at that position that you got to be a leader.
Yeah,
quarterback. Whether you want to be a leader or not, leader or not, you're a leader.
Oh yeah.
And so he's done a good job, and like I said. He's not perfect every week, but he works hard every week and tries to get better and put us in a good situation to win. Understands that he doesn't have to win the game for us.
That's
he just got to manage the game.
That's key.
We got a lot of good athletes, like you said. Jay Clark is a 3-year starter for us. At defensive back and receiver. I think realistically, I think he's probably. Still have great things to come as a receiver. I don't think people have seen what he can do. If you paid attention to last week, and we have the advantage of watching film, and seeing him on film. But when we had the kickoff return that KD returned for 85 yards, and if you look at the film, KD breaks through. Jay Clark's backing to him, and Savy are in the back with him, and they're blocking, and they break through, and then KD breaks through. But if you look towards the end of the run, Jay Clark catches him and escorts him into the end zone. And to catch KD,
I was about to say KD pretty fast,
can
man.
Fly.
So
the thing about KD is when he goes, and for about realistically, even Savy. From 0 to 60 yards, KD can go. And so can Jay Clark. So the thing about Savy is once he gets 60 yards and goes towards the 100, he can go some more. Because his legs get stretched out. That's what I'm saying. Somebody said, who's faster? I said, I don't know. It depends. I said, if you run 40 yards, probably KD. You run 100, Savy's going to smoke everybody because he's got those long leg gets going. That's why he runs better than the 200. But Jay Clark's a sleeper. People don't realize.
I like.
He looks like
wide receiver.
Very smooth. When he runs, it looks effortless. I mean, it looks effortless. I mean, he is moving. It doesn't look like he's moving. He's not straining very much, but he has a big upside, I think, on the offensive side that people had to see that we're going to try to take advantage of later on.
I saw that in the Abbeville game. He caught a lot of just 5 and outs.
We're trying to start taking advantage of him. But people also know that we play that he is the guy that we'll take a shot with. So they don't give him many opportunities. If you look and see, if we ever catch him up in his face, then you'll see. If you people that understand football, if we ever catch him, you always have your, I call them the armchair quarterbacks and the coaches or whatever, and you throw the ball there. Well, you got to understand it depends on where they're at. If they, if they ever get us and they line up and they give us man coverage or they get us, walk up in his face,
and they bumping,
we're gonna take a shot. It's coming. We're gonna take a shot.
It's nothing
because
wrong
with him out there, we're gonna take a shot. And I'll go ahead and it doesn't matter who we play. I don't care who we play. So we did that early against Abbeville. They walked up and gave us. We saw them slide the safety over, and we hit the post across the middle. So, like I said, he has really come a long ways. I think like I said, he's an all-region player defensively the last 2 years, his junior and his sophomore year. And like I said, I would love to see him. Some school pick him up. I think he still has a big upside.
Yeah, got a big upside.
Yeah, and obviously, Katie and Amadre are both right now coming into their own.
Oh yeah.
There was a couple of big schools that wanted to take some of them away from us, but like I said, I won't mention who they were.
Yeah. That's been going on for years, man.
Yeah, and I made a few phone calls and said, look, I know this is happening, and I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm not gonna let you take our kids. You're gonna have a fight.
Yeah.
And so those kids are Batesburg, Leesville born and bred. Mm-hmm. They love it. And the thing about it is, KD is the first. So we made our permanent captains.
Okay.
So I did our permanent captains, and it depends on what they did last season, off season in weights, the workout, leadership over the summer, and then coming into preseason, what they did in the preseason leading up to the first game. So before the first game, I made our 4 permanent captains. And this is probably the first time in, like I said, 34 years, I've only had 2 junior permanent captains.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And this year, KD is a permanent junior captain. Okay. And that is because of his work ethic.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones who got 20 out of 20.
Okay.
He's the guy that is a leader by example and not by, he walks the walk. He doesn't just talk. Okay. He walks the walk.
That's key.
So he leads by example. And when we go in the weight room, he's the hardest working guy in the weight room. Not only him, but the guys you mentioned like Tyler Wooten and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I tried it. I'm going to be honest with you. Amadre's got a huge
He's a man child.
His talent, he's a man child. And what I try to tell him all the time is, and this is what I've done. I've told him since I got here. I was like, look, I know he's a good player, but I ain't never. I'm not gonna be that guy telling you you're the best or whatever. I mean, that's just like this morning. I saw him up there. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw him up there before I came down here and saw him. He came in and he was standing. I said, "What are you doing?" Well, I was late. I said, "Why are you late?"
Yeah.
So I'm on him, and then I called him and I said, "Why are your biology grades low? Why is this grade? Why are you not doing?" And I'm on him.
Yeah.
So I ain't the guy in the community telling him, "You the best that's ever been. You know best."
Yeah.
I'm the guy keeping him grounded and trying to tell him, say, "Look, you don't get nowhere for free. Now nobody gives you nothing. You got to work for it." And I said, "Guess what? God blessed you with a whole lot of talent.
Oh yeah.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. I have seen lots of kids that I coached who were blessed with unbelievable amount of talent, who did not try to make it better. In other words, God gave you this talent. Now, how do you make it better?
Oh yeah.
Okay? Just because you have it doesn't mean you don't go in the weight room and you don't be the best person in the weight room to improve. Because, yes, you were better than these kids now.
Easy.
But later on, these kids that are busting their tail, they're going to catch you.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't work your tail off, you're never going to stay above them.
Exactly.
So just because you're blessed don't mean you ain't got to work.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it means you got to work harder.
You got to work harder.
And so that's, where we are, right now with kids like that. Tyler Wooten bust his tail in the weight room. Yeah. When he comes out, and him and KD, they're sweating, they're soaking wet. And that's what I'm saying. These are the guys who also have the talent on the field, but they're also the guys that are busting it in the weight room and showing these other guys that are younger, say, look, it ain't just about being good on the field. It's about being good in the classroom.
Everywhere.
And the other thing that, I know I get to rambling.
You good? Go ahead.
The other thing is with KD, I told you that, he's the first junior that I made a permanent captain. Well, not only does he do things in the classroom, in the weight room, on the field, but of those 4 captains, all 4 of them have a 3.7 or better GPA.
That's great, man.
So, you got KD, you got Clarence Springs, you got John Sawyer and Hansel Diska.
Yeah.
Every one of them have above 3.7 GPA.
Taking care of their business.
But every one of them are also leaders of this football team. They lead by example in the classroom. They lead by example in the community. They lead by example on the field. Yeah. So, like I said, those are the guys that I want, our kids to see, hey, you're a role model whether you want to be one or not.
Exactly.
And these are the guys I want to be role models because these are the ones that are doing it right.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking to Savy and Nation and JR, somebody else yesterday, and I was telling him, because I always tell Savy, man, you slow, man, you ain't fast, man, whatever, I always, bring him down. I told Nation, hey, man, hey, you slow, but you got that from your daddy. You got good hands. You
he
can
does
catch
have good hands. He does have good hands.
You can catch pretty much everything. That just runs in his family. He can catch everything, whatever. But I tell them guys, hey, man, y'all got to stay humble, number one, and stay together, or whatever. So, hey, if y'all can do that right there, man, everything will work out fine for y'all, man. Everything will work out fine for y'all. But with that being said, we're going to just close it out with your final thoughts on the season and what you expect and what's to come.
Well, I mean, talking about, the season and what's expected of the kids and so on, going back to what we talked about earlier, what are your goals? Well, your goals is you love to have a winning season.
Yeah.
But your goal is it has to be every year. And if you're in Batesburg, your goal every year has to be not to play in the state championship, but to win the state championship.
To win it, yeah.
And so, is that a goal? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why realistically, that's why you put on the uniform every year.
That purple.
Because you want to have that chance to maybe win that state championship, to play in that state championship and win it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, your goal is every year you want to win a state championship.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you want to have a winning season. You want to win the region. That's great.
Yeah.
All those things are great. You want to go deep into playoffs.
Yeah.
But ultimately, your goal has got to be every year that you want to win a state championship.
Exactly.
So, and that's the mindset that you got to put in those kids' head. To do that, it takes work.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's going to give it to you.
No.
And like I said, all the, I've been blessed. The Lord has blessed me to put me in the right place at the right time. Like I said, I get emotional with these kids. I get emotional talking to you right now.
Yeah. God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan. This God's plan that got you here right now.
And that's what I'm saying. So I came here because I felt like this is where God wanted me.
Yeah.
The opportunity for me to be here was very unusual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was not, your typical, the way to get a job.
Yeah.
Like I said, and so when the opportunity knocked, I had to say, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like, this year is, I hope it's going to be.
Yeah.
All I can do is go out there every day and give it my best.
Yeah.
And I try to tell our coaches and, like I said, Coach Mullen just walked in. And Coach Mullen is a legend.
Oh, yeah, he's a legend.
I mean, he's been doing this. Yeah. This is his 51st year.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Well, here's the thing that people got to realize. Coach Lawson, he's smoking, these coaches coaching this long, this, that, and that. Well, why does he do it? Because not only does he love the game of football, but he loves kids.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He loves teaching kids and being, a mentor of those kids. And nobody, I'm telling you, he's that's why, I keep every year, I know he wants to retire, but,
you keep bringing it back.
Yeah, you want to stay because he's such a wealth of knowledge. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And like I said, the other thing that's key here, I think, is one of the things I tried to do is, as far as coaches, is hire coaches who were from Batesburg.
Yeah.
Who were part of 99 and 95 and 2005.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as a coach, something that I learned in other places and from other coaches, if you hire a coach who's from here, who played on a team that was here, they got more invested.
Oh, yeah.
They're not here just getting a check.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It means something to them.
Oh, yeah.
So when they go out there every day, they go out there every day with a purpose. And the purpose is to try to get those kids, their sons, their nephews, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To be able to experience what they experienced. You know what I'm saying? So trying to, I always try to hire and try to get people to help coach who is invested in this community, invested in this school. So, those are things that we've done, and I think our coaches are doing a great job. People say, Coach Lawson, you're the man. No, it's not. It's not me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I'm just the the guy who tries to keep it all together. You know what I'm saying? But you got coaches out there, they're doing a great job. Our defensive staff is doing a great job. Coach Adams is doing a great job. He played here. Coach Bryan, Coach Getson. Coach Getson is unreal. People they asked me last year, somebody asked me, said, what coach can you not do without? I said, hands down, Coach Getson.
Okay.
People don't realize what Coach Getson does. Coach Getson does all the headsets. He does all the video. He does everything that has to do. I mean,
makes your job a lot easier.
Oh yeah, I mean, I go out there to paint the field. Coach Jetson's already painted the practice field. I mean, it's just what I'm saying. There's so much. It's little stuff. And Coach Smalling, I mean, he's why he's here. He's here right now early washing the clothes.
Oh my goodness.
He every day he takes care. Come take. I got the clothes. You know what I'm saying. And he takes care of washing the kids' clothes, and he puts them out in front of their locker every day. So it's a group effort.
Team effort.
It's a team effort.
That's what
that's
makes
right.
the team.
That's what makes the team, And that's what I tell people all the time. People tell me, Coach, congratulations. I was like, you know what? I'm part of the team.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just blessed to be a part of the ride. And so those kids are the ones that are making it happen. Because now, not only are they believing in themselves, they're believing in each other as a team. And they know that their teammate has their back. Which you got to be able to believe that the guy playing beside you is going to do his job.
You can count on him.
You can count on him.
And with that being said, it's pretty much with them believing in themselves like that, the coaches believing in them, we can see by Friday night the community has started back believing in them. Because community showed up Friday night, so it's gonna
we hope it gets bigger and bigger each week.
It's gonna be back to like how it was.
Fortunately, we have 3 games in a row, so we're home this week. We're home next week. Gonna be on TV. Love to have a great crowd for that. And then we go away to Strom Thurmond, and then we're home for 3 in a row again.
Okay.
So hopefully, and what we expect is that we accomplish our goals and we go into the playoffs, and hopefully we can have all our playoff games at home.
We're praying that we stay healthy.
Correct. And you got to be lucky.
You got to be lucky.
I tell people that all the time. You got to be lucky. It's part of football. Football is a physical game. It's a violent game.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
They keep trying to change it all the time because of the violence. But it's a violent game, and things happen.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, so that to me is luck.
Oh yeah.
And God's grace.
God's grace. Yeah, most definitely.
He's either looking after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. So you got to be lucky, and you got to have God's grace to, that you don't get some players injured.
Oh yeah.
Because you lose some key players, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes
a big difference.
It makes a big difference. So with that being said, we're gonna close out with just getting back to the Batesburg tradition. That's why we're here today, or whatever. Getting back to not thinking we're gonna lose to Strom Thurmond, we're gonna lose to Saluda beginning of the season. We thinking we gonna beat Strom Thurmond, we're gonna beat Saluda, we're gonna win the region, we gonna get in the playoffs, and we're gonna make a great run, and we're gonna be playing for a state championship. Not only playing for it, but winning the state championship. And all this is like we say to end our show, doing it with a purpose, doing it with passion. If you're not doing it like that, you're not doing it all. And right now, we feel like Batesburg Leesville is doing it with purpose and doing it with passion again.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.